Hello, we're continuing the timber frame modeling of a small house, and in the last two videos we've modeled up all of this, all the timber walls, and for this video we're just going to finish it off with this part here. Now I've left this out because this is going to be made a bit different. So we're going to have a frame on this side and a frame on this side, and a big timber lintel going at the top here, called a flitch plate. A flitch plate is two timbers with a steel plate sandwiched between them. So I'm just going to go ahead and get on with it, and then that should be all the walls done. So I'm taking this here. Now first let me bring those menus back. View, user interface. I want the view cube, the project browser, and properties. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the ground floor and just take this set of studs and use them. Turn this around by 90 degrees and I'm just going to move it over here and try and bring this down. I'm hitting WT on the keyboard so that I can see what's happening in 3D as well. Okay. So I'm selecting this timber. You can see what I'm doing. And trying to move it here, and again we have that problem, so I'll draw a line from this corner and bring it down here, and then I can drag this over to align with the line there. And I'll try and drag that as close to possible as I can over here, or I can just align it with the top one. So I drag this down, and there it is. Okay, so that's what it looks like in 3D. There was a bottom rail of the frame here which was standing there. I'm deleting that. Unpinning it first and deleting it. Okay, now I want to look at this from the front, so I'll take this section and drag it down so I can see this, and go to view, just to get a better clarity on what we're joining where. So I need a stud to line up with this here. I'm just going to make these doors see-through. So highlighting both of them, right click, override graphics in view by element, change the transparency to 50, 60, 50, doesn't matter. Just so I can see through them. And I'm ungrouping this so that it doesn't affect this group when I change it. I'll delete one stud and this, and I will align the stud with this. Then I'll align these rails with the stud, and just do the same again and again. That one doesn't matter because we're going to change that. So it looks like it's fitting okay. This door's just a little bit forward than it should be. I want the end to be double or triple studded so that it can support the flitch plate very nicely. I'll make it triple studded just to make sure it supports it nicely. As I always say, it's the engineer's call. Right. If it's gonna be triple studded, we're not gonna need this. If it's gonna be double studded, we're probably still not gonna need it. I'll keep it triple studded because I believe it's some building regulation rule where the lintel has to lean on top and going over by 150 mil. So we'll make it 3 studs. That means I can get rid of this then because it's just in the way. And I'm gonna group all this. I'll call it a lintel frame group. I will mirror this. To this timber. And if we're lucky, it should have landed exactly where it should have. Looks about right. Now I just want to check that these studs can fit adequately, and it looks to me like it'll be fine. So this stud can be fixed to that stud and to that stud as well for good support. So I can leave that as it is. And I just want to see that if I edit this group, will it edit both of them in a mirror? So if I delete that and hit OK, perfect. That means whatever I do to this one, it's going to happen to that one as well. It's excellent. Okay, now we're going to do the lintel. So I'm grabbing one of these. Perhaps I can copy this without having to ungroup it. That's not what I wanted to copy, but at least the copy worked. Right. And I will take this, if I can find it. I don't seem to see it on the plan. What if I go to ground FFL? I'll just make a duplicate of this because I don't want to edit it. Duplicate with detailing. And this one, the view range, I'll make the upper unlimited as well. That cut plane, I'll make it 2300. There we are. Okay. So I'm dragging this over here. See how it sizes up. I want this to be thicker and to go in section 3. So this is directly on top of the doors, and I need it to be high enough to reach on top here. So this has to be tall enough to cover this whole gap. And the gap looks quite large. A bit too large. Let's have a look. 315. Okay, this gap is much too large, and I don't want to create a really tall lintel. It's probably possible, but I guess it looks unrealistic. So what I'm going to do is make a shorter lintel, align it with the top here, I'll fill the gap in here with a frame. So let's edit this. Edit type, duplicate. Lintel, timber, slice, because it's like a slice of bread on one side of a sandwich. Thickness 50. Let's make this 200. Yeah. So the thickness is a bit better. In fact, we can make the thickness even more to cover the gap this way at least. So my plan for the lintel is to put a timber here, put a steel plate in the middle, which will be a 10mm thickness, and another timber here, sandwiching the steel plate in the middle. So if this gap is 150mm, 75, 75, 70, 70. So it'll be a 70mm thickness of the timbers and a 10mm plate in the middle. 70mm might be too thick and overkill, but it's okay. We're just modeling. That is a huge timber. I'm gonna cut this down. 70mm looks too thick. Let's just keep it to 50. We can fill the gaps with insulation or something. Now I want to align this to the top here. So we're increasing the height of this by 80mm. Okay, now I'm gonna go back in the sail blade plan and make a copy of this. Drop it here and move it back by 10mm. Right, now I'm gonna put a steel here. I could do it the easy way or the hard way. Easy way, I can just copy this down here, change its dimensions and change its materials. But let's see what steels they already have in here. Structure, beam, load family. Going into structural framing, steel. Let's see what they have. We need a steel plate. That's what we need. A plate. Excellent. Alright, I'm just drawing this here, and I will change its dimensions to match this. So that's 50 and 200. Edit type, duplicate, and it's going to be 10 by 200. Change that to 10, 200. And where are we with this? So the height of this is copy paste. Is that matching? I think it is. Yep. Okay. Move this to here. Our flitch plate is almost done. So this is how our flitch plate is going to sit. I'm editing this and I'm going to pull this back. If there was another stud in the middle here, I could have had this head rail sitting on both studs while the lintel can sit on these three. But I can't have a head rail like that. So what I'm gonna do is drop this by 50 so it acts as a noggin. Pull this back and I'm pulling this back here. So I'm gonna pull these into here and put another head plate up here. Better to use the align tool. And going into the section, I'm putting this another one on top. Copy it over. Move it up by 50. And put it back where it was. And then I'm going back into this, and these actually need to drop down now by 150. Edit group, select the three studs, the crippled studs that support the lintel, and drop them by 150. Minus 150. And from the plan, I can find the middle of this. Should be 75. And select these three and align the middle of the steel plate to this. And that's how the flitch plate is sitting on top, and it's supported well. But I don't like this. Well then, what's the harm in increasing the timber size? Edit type, duplicate, 70. And just fit this in as well. It's so fit it in. That looks better to me. And the good thing is that because I did everything on this group here, everything's happened the same on here. So all I have to do is use the align tool and align everything to the end of this. And I'm going to use multiple alignments so I don't have to keep doing it. So click the end of that stud, align this, align that, and the steel plate. And I guess this is a separate piece. It's come out as a separate piece. No problem. We can easily put this back there too. Now that's the flitch plate done. Maybe to make life easier we could have just dropped this stud as well, like these three, and just dragged the flitch plate over to the end. That probably would have been a better solution. But there's a lot of possible things with building. Many possible solutions. So now I'm going to fill these parts up now with timber framing. So I'll go to the sill plate plan, find a suitable frame, copy it. Section 3. Okay, so I'll pull the section back a bit so we can see this, and I'll just edit the frame to fit under here accordingly. Ungroup DI, and let's see how far this has to drop. 2425. I'll get rid of these noggins because we don't need them, and I need to drop the studs now. -2425. I'll form the frame before I fit it in, so select the studs. And I'll move it over to the left. And I'm gonna double these studs up just to increase their strength. So although the roof is going to be supported by this lintel, which is putting the forces on the studs, I'm still gonna put a double stud here to support the door, even though it probably doesn't need it. More overkill. And I'll drag this right to the end as well. And I'll double that up too. And then I'll just align these. DI, see where we are. We can array them. I'll just copy them. And now double these studs up. Overkill, I know. Don't care. And I'll group these to keep them together. And the door frame. Let's put this in place. And have a look in 3D. Good. So I need one up here as well. We could try and put a frame in there, or we can just block it up with timber. Although looking at this model, okay, you can see what's going on here. I'm just going to hide the walls to just show you exactly what's going on. Right. So we have our flitch plate there. Underneath that we have our timber frame. And we can get rid of this, which was on the front. And there's our flitch plate frame. And these are now all the timber walls done. Well, if we want to add timber walls for the internal walls, we could do that too. And we can add a roof to this, and a bottom, a suspended timber floor. And show you the flitch plate nice and close. Maybe I can cut into it as well. A solid structure indeed. It is.